number one 5-on-5 team goal scoring wise, but that should tell you a lot considering that they missed the playoffs by a hefty sum. What are you expecting from the Sabres this year? And do they finally break the playoff drought if they reach 90 points? You said it was sort of 50-50 as whether they would get in or not. Do they make it, in your opinion, this season?
I'm going to say no. They don't make it, but I am going to say I do think they're in it up till the end of the season, which doesn't sound great. We want the drought to break, but if you tell me like they're in it till the very end on the last day of the season, I feel like most fans probably sign up for that because it's loser talk. I'm not going to pretend it's not, but being in it till the very last day would at least give us some reason to be invested. Like I was talking to a buddy at work the other day, and I said, I you know how awesome it would be for the Sabres to buy at the trade deadline, like go get a rental to help them maybe push them over the top. Like imagine, the Wayne Simmons and Dominic Cahoon trade. We were shocked by that one because we couldn't believe they were buying. Imagine going into a trade deadline where we expect the Sabres to buy something. Like to me, that would be awesome, which is loser talk. But no, I'm not. I'm going to say they don't end the drought, but I will say this: their 5-on-5 scoring will probably regress a little bit. But this team is built to score. They just are. I'm going to give Seth Appert some credit here. I do expect the power play to be better and at least league average this year, which I couldn't tell them, but I'm going to go with that. The 5-on-5 scoring will regress, but their power play will get a lot better.
And yeah, I totally agree with that. If their 5-on-5 goes down, but the power play improves, I think that's enough for progression there. And yeah, inject a Dinah Zubris to the Sabres into my veins. I would love to see a move like that we saw, back in the day when the Sabres were buying, even they weren't buying the top end guys, they were still making some quality moves for their playoff pushes. That seems like 4 decades ago. But when you talk about the Sabres and last year, Montreal was the last team to make it in the East with 91 points. Actually, them and New Jersey both had 91 points. The Sabres had 79. Again, take half that 13-game losing streak, they probably make the playoffs. They have to leapfrog 6 teams in order to do so this season. When you look at what's within the division this year, because you obviously have to start with your division in the Atlantic. You've got the Torontos, the Tampa Bays, the Floridas, Ottawa and Montreal, Detroit, sort of, we don't really know what they are. Boston, everybody projects them to be horrible, but again, until I actually see, Boston have another really bad season, I'm not going to say that's going to happen again, because we've seen them be, a very good team within the conference for, the better part of 2 decades now. So within the division and where they're sort of, I guess, what the outlook is there. We know what Florida has some couple of key injuries. We know Tampa Bay isn't quite what they were before. Will Toronto be the same without the Mitch Marner? I know they've made some good acquisitions as well that we never like to give them credit for. But within the Atlantic Division, like, are you more optimistic than maybe you were last season that they could get into a top 3 spot in the conference, or they're going to have to go for one of the top 3 spot in the division, or they're going to have to go for one of these wild cards?
Oh yeah, they're going to have to go for the wild card. Like I said, I don't expect them to make the playoffs. I think they'll be close. I think you can pencil in Toronto and Florida top 2, and I know Florida's missing 2 guys, but they're still a really good team. They're still deep top to bottom without Barkov and Kachuk for a while. I mean, they still have Reinhart, Verhaeghe, Rodriguez, things like that. Toronto, they're Toronto. I hate them, obviously, but adding Waugh is good. Michelli looks like he could be an underrated player. I will think it might be a little bit more of a slog for them than they're used to, but I think those 2 you can pencil into the top 2. Tampa, until I see Tampa fall off the face of the earth, I'm just always going to believe they're going to be that good, because they are that good.
Like 102 points again for them, though?
Yeah, like I said, I don't know about that high.
Right.
I am curious how Montreal handled this, because when you look at their numbers, minus 20 goal differential, they reminded me of that Sabres team that missed the playoffs by a point. The only difference is Montreal squeaked in. But then we know when Buffalo got that close, they kind of fell off the face of the earth. I'm not going to say Montreal's going to fall off the face of the earth, because I like the Noah Dobson trade. I like kind of what they've done there. But a little bit of regression to the mean for them, I could see that happening. I could see them taking a step back before they take that next step forward.
Because they overshot last year. Everybody expected them to be a lot worse.
Yeah, they have some good pieces. Like Slafkovsky's really good, Demidov's really good, Hudson's really good, but like they're young. They're the youngest team in the league. Sabres are the second youngest team. The only difference is the Sabres have been the youngest team in the league for like 5 years, so those young players are NHL vets. So I could see that. Ottawa, honestly, I don't know what to expect. They were really good last year. But they're the Ottawa Senators, and I hate them, and I'm never going to give them credit. But I think you're going Buffalo, Detroit, Montreal, fighting for that 5th final playoff spot. I'm not super high on the Metro, so I wouldn't be surprised if that's kind of what you see there. And the Bruins, like you said, you don't expect them to be bad 2 years in a row. I do. They were really, really
They
bad
were
last
horrible.
year. I know McAvoy is going to be healthy, which will help a lot, but like
Maybe Swayman has a bounce back.
maybe. But aside from Pasternak, who's scoring on that team? Like Geeky was really good, but he to me outperformed expectations. Obviously, he could duplicate it, but I don't see it. So yeah, I think Buffalo is in that 5th spot in the Atlantic, which hopefully has them fighting for that final spot.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Montreal 25.8, Buffalo's 26.48 average age entering into the season as the two youngest teams in the National Hockey League. And again, when you're Montreal and Chicago, you expect to be that when you're in a rebuilding phase. But for Buffalo, they kind of look different in that sense because we've kind of been waiting for how many years now for them to not be the youngest team in the league, because that just means that you people think that you're going to be good, but when? And we're still waiting here for the Sabres to take that next step forward. But again, as you mentioned, I think I think it's going to be too many teams to pass, especially like with the Metro teams with the wild card. I just don't see I could see a possibility of Buffalo being better than Detroit, Montreal, and Ottawa. But to me, that doesn't even still put you top 3 in the division with Tampa, Florida, and Toronto. So then it just depends on what happens over in the Metro. And you got to leapfrog a couple of those teams, and 6 teams overall from where they were last year. And again, Boston always plays Buffalo tough too. So as much as I want the drought to end, I just don't see the clear path that says for sure this team's going to be a playoff team. Yep. But again, if they give that 50-50 shot, as you mentioned, at 90 points, I think we got to take it at this point.
Yeah, like I said, I don't expect them to make it, but I expect them to be close. And mostly like what you said, there's a lot of teams they have to leapfrog. I will say this, again, I am not discrediting Montreal at all. I think they are very good. They're going in the right direction. It is just very hard to see the advanced stats. They got beat bad a lot of games. They had a negative 20 goal differential. They had the same goal differential as the Sabres. Like I said, they're going to be a really good team, probably top 3 in that division for many years to come. I wouldn't be shocked if they kind of fell back a little bit. And I think with the East, we're seeing the same thing for now the 3rd straight year. Where I just don't think the East is that good. So 90 points could get the Sabres in. So if they are there, I wouldn't be shocked. Seems like a 3rd year in a row now, which obviously this could look really dumb at the end of the year. But like 2 years ago when the Sabres, or 3 years ago when the Sabres barely squeaked in at 91, it was whatever. 2 years ago, the East was really bad. Buffalo failed to take a step forward. Last year, the East wasn't that good. They're begging for someone to take that spot. It went to Montreal. I wouldn't be surprised this year again if 89 to 92 points gets you in. And the Sabres are projected to be in the mix, and that's really all I can ask for right now. I just think we're getting to year 15, but I think we're getting to year 15 in a way that we're not miserable. We're going to be miserable when they miss because we're just going to be, because it's been so long, but I think this year will look a little different. And I'm also fully prepared if this team makes the playoffs. I probably means we're stuck with the front office that we have, which is a whole another conversation for a different day. But I think a lot of reasons to be hopeful this year. I can't pencil them into the playoffs. I can't, but I'm hopeful.